ask yourself the damn question. Is winning the only thing we do?
Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare breathe. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
The Star Fantasy League Show puts you in control of your own team. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, and co-host SFL CEO Zach Stanley and Nick Steblenko. The Star Fantasy League Show is on the air now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on the Sports Byline USA Network. I am your host, Jonathan Sprung, joined, as always, by SFL CEO, the Deuce, the Moose, Zach Stanley.
Jonathan, there is one NBA basketball game tonight, but thanks to fantasy basketball, there's two.
What?
Yes.
What? Why are there two?
Because I will not be participating. Actually, I will probably watch the first one just because I'll have a player or two in it. But there's literally going to be nobody playing in that game.
Why do we have to even talk? Why do we have to open the show up without introducing
Teddy Bear 2?
Thank you. The Teddy Bear 2 himself, Nick Steblenko. Welcome, Nick.
I'm not going to watch either NBA game tonight. I'm actually going to go and check out a dog training facility instead.
Okay, that's worse than the first conversation we were having. Man,
why would you watch either of these games?
How late do you have to be at a dog training facility?
Well, I don't really care about the games. That's how late I'm going to be there.
Nick is more excited for a certain thing that will be starting tomorrow. I believe it's the NHL playoffs.
Yes, indeed.
Sorry, it'll begin Wednesday.
I am absolutely psyched for it. It's the best time of hockey season. Anything can happen. It's just awesome.
I mentioned on Monday's show, I actually do get a little excited for the NHL playoffs. Of course, I watch as much as I can. Not having cable is a problem, but you know what? You go out. You watch it at bars. You watch it at work. We got nice TVs here.
Yep.
Star Fantasy League's offices.
I may have to build a bed in here. I'm sorry, Zach.
It's already been done. I did it last season. Don't worry.
You did?
Yeah, not a big deal.
All
if
right.
I get one playoff game on the first night, I will be happy.
What do you mean if you get one? I'm
looking for Dallas-Anaheim.
Okay.
Playoff game. The late game goes till 3 a.m. I end up staying up for the entire thing.
Oh, that's definitely going to happen. All right, on today's Star Fantasy League show, we got a big lineup to break down. We got an NBA lineup breakdown for Nick. There's only two games to talk about. We're obviously going to just shoot the crap.
A lot of games to talk about for Wednesday, though.
But special mailbag today. We have an Eastern Conference NHL only playoff preview for John L's mailbag, and also we're breaking down the last basketball big Wednesday of the season. Oh,
it's okay. There are games that matter.
I know. We're coming back, and we are doing an NBA lineup breakdown for Tuesday on StarFantasyLeague.com, and you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
Now, let's get back to it. The Star Fantasy League Show. Feel free to tweet the show at SFL Show. Let's do this. Time for your Star Fantasy League's NBA Fantasy Lineup Breakdown.
I'm a little upset, guys. This may or may not be the last regular season NBA lineup breakdown we do for 2014. I'm depressed. We're going to do playoffs late lineup breakdown, but it's just not the same.
I am looking forward to hearing this one, though.
Oh, this one's
Teddy Bear 2 could put together something special today.
We're not even
sure about everybody who's playing in these games tonight.
Yeah, no, this is me of all people, I don't even have a clue. So.
Yeah, you know what? Before we actually get into this, let's go ahead and look at the injury updates for this game. Mari Stoudemire game time call. Melo probably won't play according to Mike Woodson. Paul Pierce, Joe Johnson, and Darren Williams all game time decisions, and Teletovic, Livingston, and Allen Anderson all out. So that is 8 people I just named in the first game of this. I guess they call it a doubleheader, but it's mainly a game. It's not a doubleheader.
So what about the Clippers? Because that's kind of that's a big one.
Yeah,
any word on that at all? Because I haven't found anything.
The Clippers want to win.
All right, that's good.
The Clippers want to win. If they win tonight, and OKC loses tomorrow, and they win tomorrow, then they are number 2.
Yeah, number 2. I mean, let's be honest. All the seeding is still kind of up in the air.
Everybody wants the highest seed, though. I mean, and there's no. I don't think there's any doubt that the Clippers are going to come to play tonight.
The Clippers would love home court advantage in the second round.
This is the game, and I think there's going to be a lot of excitement in it, actually.
There should be quite a bit of excitement. The discrepancy in over-unders between these two games is actually quite funny. One game's at 192, and the other game is at 220.
And I'm going to go ahead and guess that New York-Brooklyn game is going to dip down to 187 around game time.
Yeah, it probably should.
Because they're going to announce a couple more stars out, and you know how sloppy it becomes like a college basketball game of defense when all the starters are out. Yeah.
That doesn't even sound fun.
It's going to be like Tim Hardaway Jr. on Michigan, just putting up jumpers all game.
Or like the Stars, the rookie sophomore game. Remember that, where Tim Hardaway Jr. is just jacking up threes all the time?
And Mike Woodson's. It looks like the entire Nets team is going to be out, to be honest. And I don't even know how they're going to play anybody.
Except the Plum.
We just announced that like 3 of their bench players are out.
Yep, correct.
Well, I guess Livingston's a starter, but
true, sort of.
Marcus Thornton, watch out.
And Marquise Teague, not Marcus, or not the other Teague. Who the heck's Jeff Teague and Marquise Teague?
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to go back and see how Teague does when he gets a lot of minutes. And
never. He doesn't.
The last
get any
time
minutes.
he got big minutes, he got like 25 minutes and got 4 fantasy points.
You know what?
He's ready to go.
4 fantasy points might be good on the 2-game slate. You know what isn't good on a full slate?
Teddy Bear 2.
Derek Fisher.
Oh.
Although I have.
You know what is good though? Terrence Jones. Yep, got that one in.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh my God.
How did that work out,
At
Donald?
least he's a starter.
Yeah, I guess that is true.
You always have a chance when you put in a starter.
All right,
Thank you.
Nick.
I appreciate that,
Nick,
Zach. Thank you.
Nick, let's get to this. I really hope. I know you saw all these injury updates. I really hope you kind of screwed up and have like 3 of these guys in your lineup. So
Actually, surprisingly, after you read all of those, the sweat came off my forehead.
come
I
on.
don't have any of those guys.
don't
in.
even joke around. I gave you those updates like an hour ago.
I'm just saying.
Get
There were a
outta
couple
here.
more I had no idea about, and I got lucky.
Whoops.
So, yeah, all right. Well, you got to give your spiel, don't you?
You know
Or
what?
do you even need the spiel anymore?
With a 2-game slate, put the players in your lineup.
Yeah.
Just put them in.
I actually ended up with like $5,000
See,
left
that,
over.
yeah,
so.
that sometimes does it. No, for those of you who haven't played, first off, Wednesday is the last day to play regular season daily fantasy, but we're also doing playoffs. Get in there now. Get the experience of playing daily fantasy basketball on StarFantasyLeagues.com. $100,000 salary cap. 2 guards, 2 forwards, 2 centers, 2 utility. That's any player you want. Got to stay under that salary cap. Get the most points. Win the most money. It's sadly ending, but Nick, I'm sure you'll still put up a stinker.
There we go. Thanks for the positivity.
Yeah.
I found like 3 forwards that were even worth considering tonight.
You found that many?
Blake Griffin, Kenneth Faried, and Matt Barnes.
Oh.
All right. Well, I have 2 or 3 of them.
You have all of them. Congratulations.
Oh, no, yeah. I don't have Matt Barnes in, but we'll see what happens here. I'm going to start with your pick, actually, Jonald, in Jorge Gutierrez.
Honestly, that pick scares the living crap out of me.
Yep.
I have him in my lineup as well. I think they have, 3 healthy guards tonight?
Yeah,
3?
I kind of gave you a little premature compliment on that yesterday, and then I went back.
He played no minutes the other day. But that was because, they had more
I
guards
think he
than
had
that.
like 2 points in 20 minutes in one of those games.
So? The game that he played the full minutes, he had
He had
20,
like
20
18
thing.
or 19,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
fine. On a night like tonight, are you kidding?
On a night like tonight, that will do, yes. And I do think, like, honestly, I hate all this game time decision garbage because it's so hard to see any of those guys playing. And it's like, and those are the 3 guys that are going to make the entire difference in how anybody else plays from a fantasy perspective. But I also think that if they do play, they're not going to play enough minutes to make a difference. So whether you're going to start anybody on the Nets, it's going to be based on whether Darren, Paul Pierce, and Joe Johnson are playing.
So even if they play, they may play diminished minutes, but even still, taking minutes away from other players who you might consider playing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why
so it's all a big mess.
Zach and I are going to agree here. Taking players from this game is just just an unnecessary risk because of how ridiculously high scoring and fast paced that other game's going to be.
Well, I only have one more from that game, and it's solely because I couldn't find any other way to fit players in. So it's Mason Plumlee, by the way. He's 8,600.
What's wrong with that?
No, that's fine. But that's what I'm saying is I only have those 2 guys from that game.
Yeah. If you're looking for somebody from that game, you have to pick a starter. And guess who's starting? It's Mason Plumlee. He's actually been playing
Wait, who's the second guy?
fairly well. Gutierrez.
Gutierrez, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically a min-salary guy in Gutierrez and an under $10,000 center in Plumlee. That's out of this game. We mentioned yesterday, all you want is kind of the guys that are just flying under the radar, getting their points, and that's Plumlee. That's what he's going to do.
I do like Tim Hardaway.
Yeah.
I think Tim Hardaway is going to go off.
You know what? I have a problem here. I bet you J.R. Smith's just going to play all of the minutes in this game and not let Tim Hardaway play that much.
They only lost to Chicago in their last game by 11, and I think JR played like 22 minutes.
Good.
So I think Woodson's just going to put in all the young guys.
That would be extremely nice if that actually happened. I do like Tim Hardaway Jr., but I don't know. I didn't really find.
Just watch out. I mean, just keep an eye on things. Keep an eye on what's going on with Stoudemire.
Yep.
You've got Jeremy Tyler, Cole Aldrich, Torrey Murray. Tim Hardaway.
These are all names that we're basically laughing under our breath at because this is the crop that we're choosing from today on StarFantasyLeagues.com. It is bad. This is a day that will live on in infamy for just how atrocious it is. All right, go ahead and pick it. We have a few minutes. We're having fun here. Just obviously the other game, you probably have the entire roster of the Denver and LA Clippers, right?
Something to that effect,
Yeah.
yes. Well, with Ty Lawson out, I'm going to play Aaron Brooks and Randy Foye. I'm not sure how you feel about Randy Foye, but he's been playing quite a few minutes and actually playing pretty well.
Ride the Randy Foye Express.
Yeah. 3 straight games of 30 or more fantasy points,
Yep.
and one with 53.
Yep. He actually had a similar run like this when he was inserted into the starting lineup, 2-3 months
Yeah, and
ago?
he actually ended up getting like a bunch of nagging injuries, and he was also running like 43 minutes a game, so he just got tired.
Yeah, and they also put him in the point guard position for about a month, which was really awkward for him, and he did very poorly.
Well, he still does that a fair amount anyways, because Brooks is just... I can't believe how passive that guy's gotten. I mean, he used to be the guy that would come in for Houston and just go off.
Yeah, he's slow. I think Kyle Lowry kind of kicked his butt, and he's like, I'm a backup. It's fine. Don't worry about it. All right, who else you got?
Well, I got Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. They're pretty much the only 2 top-dollar guys that I have.
Well, I think they're the only 2 top-dollar guys that are playing.
Yeah, you're right. Good point. Good point.
There's no top-dollar guy in Denver. Brooklyn has no top-dollar guys
out.
at all, and Melo's out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can realistically get Paul, Griffin, Jordan, and Fareed in your lineup tonight and figure out how to manage the rest, you get all 4 of those guys in?
Wait, say it again?
Paul,
Did you get
Griffin,
DeAndre in?
Jordan, and
I didn't get
Fareed.
DeAndre Jordan in, no.
DeAndre hasn't performed very well against them.
I know, but I'm saying, if you can have the money to spend tonight, like he said he had 5,000
if you
extra.
have room, but
put
there's...
him in.
I think Plumlee and Mozgov are both good options for 20-plus fantasy points.
That is true. I mean, those are 2 centers. There you go.
Well, so I did have Fareed in, so
Yep, love him.
we covered
Fareed.
those 3.
Fareed, one of our plays of the night.
And then I'm going to go with my man from Russia, Timofey Mozgov, for another 60 fantasy points on a 2-game slate.
I mean, we're not saying you don't have to pick him on a night like tonight, but
He only had 19 minutes the last time that these 2 teams played. He's obviously going to get a lot more this time, but he still had 24 fantasy points.
ooh,
Or 25. So.
but yeah, I mean, the Clippers just haven't been good against the power forward or the center position all season long. That's why I like Fareed and Mozgov as a combo. Yeah, Mozgov's going to get all the minutes he can because who's backing them up?
Yeah, but I mean, do you think he's going to have another 29 boards?
Darrell Arthur.
Yeah, okay, Darrell Arthur's basically a 3. He does not really...
Ant Rand.
He's not big enough to play a 4. They don't have Byron Mullins anymore. Can you imagine I'm saying that? Big
Go
babies.
Ant Rand. Dark horse.
All right, we're done with this. This is a 2-game slate from hell. Coming up after the break, we have a special Eastern Conference NHL playoff preview mailbag, Donald's mailbag. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
The Star Fantasy League Show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now. Okay, fantasy sports fans.
There's a letter in your mailbox.
Time to dig into Donald's mailbag for your questions and comments.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
Jump in the game. Send your questions and comments to the Star Fantasy League's team by tweeting at SFL Show.
We are back, and it's a very special day in Donald's mailbag. We got a very positive response to Monday's Western Conference NHL playoff preview, so we decided to do a special mailbag just full of questions for the Eastern Conference playoffs.
And we've got our own plate of London broil right here in the office.
That's not true. We have pizzas from Chicago. Does that count for anything?
That's something.
That we haven't eaten for, 5 months now?
They're deep dish, and they stay frozen forever.
Yeah, well...
It looks like they're going to stay frozen forever.
We don't have an oven. We just expanded the offices of the Star Fast League's headquarters, and we didn't put an oven in, so...
We have
how are
a
we gonna
fire
cook?
pit.
Where?
We don't
In
have-
your
we
office?
don't have that. We don't
just
have
going to
that
light
either.
your office wall on fire. It's a fire pit. Sure, why not?
We'll put a fire pit on the fire escape.
No, there's already a keg out there, isn't there? Someone just threw a keg on our fire escape 6 months ago.
That's from the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, that is true. It's just still there. I don't know why.
Kegs are for Super Bowls. Super
Someone-
Bowls are
someone
for kegs.
What
robbed
do we
us.
do here? Jeez.
We tape a radio show and we kick ass.
Yeah, apparently.
That's all we do here on the
Yep.
Star Fantasy League show.
That's it.
All right, before we get into the actual questions, Nick, yesterday you explained, Monday, you explained the playoff formatting changes. I didn't understand it. For those of you who didn't listen on Monday, please explain this again, just very briefly, because this is the first time ever that it's changed? The actual format?
Not that it's ever changed, but yes, this is a brand new format. This year, they're instituting wild card teams. There's 2 wild cards in each conference, so that's the biggest change. And there's only 2 divisions in each conference. So the way that it works now is that there's no reseeding, and that's the most important part of the playoffs. So what's going to happen is there are 2 divisions in each conference, and there are 3 teams from each division from the regular season that automatically make the playoffs. Then there's 2 wild card teams. The lowest wild card team will play the highest seed in the conference, but then they get put into that bracket. So from then on, you only play the teams within your division. So in the first round, it goes 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. The winners from those play each other instead of reseeding. And then from there on, you get to the conference finals and so on and so forth.
So basically you're saying you know who you're going to play instead of last couple seasons where you go, well, if this happens, we could play them. If this happens, we could play them.
There's a legitimate bracket now. There's actually a set road to the playoffs, or to the Stanley Cup, pardon me.
That could be good for rivalry reasons.
It could.
You
It could
see
be
a
good.
team coming for you.
It's going to change things up drastically. I think we said this Monday, that the first round actually becomes a little bit more exciting because of the way that everything gets set up.
We were on the
round.
show yesterday. I don't give a crap about this anymore. We were on the show yesterday.
All right. Well, okay.
Zach,
Threw down the hammer.
Usually Nick's the one that gets heated, but his lineup was so bad today because everyone else's was that he's not heated at all.
Tomorrow is tomorrow, and yesterday was yesterday, and today is today.
Well, what's 2 days from now?
Thursday.
Okay. Sure, we're on Thursday, too. Guess what? We're on 5 days a week on the Star Fantasy League show. Isn't that exciting?
Damn right.
So every day is today on the show. Every day. Doesn't matter.
And the next day, when we have another day of the show, it is tomorrow.
This is the most drunk segment I've ever heard in the history of this show and any other radio
We're actually
program.
not drinking beers this time.
I know, that is weird. Let's get right into the questions in John L's mailbag, the exclusive Eastern Conference preview mailbag. Victor F. writes, the Bruins absolutely ran away from the pack in the regular season, while the Red Wings struggled to get in. Is there any chance of this being a series?
Yeah, absolutely there is. Actually, shockingly enough, Detroit was the only team in the regular season that beat Boston 3 times. They hold the edge in the season series 3-1. I don't know if anybody remembers that. That to me, when I saw that, that's shocking in its own right.
TB2, I've got it written down.
Yes, you do.
I've got it right here.
I love that I have a hockey partner in this. This is great.
Oh, thanks. Jeez, rub a little salt in the wound.
Okay.
Tell me if I'm wrong here, Nick. I think one of the big things here is that Detroit is going to need to take one of the first 2.
I would think that's actually a really good point. Yes, if they have a chance in this series, they're going to need to take one in Boston, no doubt.
And such an injury-prone team, too. They lost 417 man games and almost $18 million this year.
Wow.
Wait,
by
really?
By people being off the ice, yes.
That's unheard of. That sounds like half their team was hurt.
It was by far the most.
They are going to get some of that back. Datsuk is healthy. They're not going to have Henrik Zetterberg, though. That's going to be a big loss. He's probably going to be out at least for the whole first round of the playoffs. But they are going to have Datsuk back. And they had some guys step up. I talked about Nyquist earlier in the year. He had a fantastic end of the season. He just went on an absolute tear. And Thomas Tatar, great. They came up from the minors, from Grand Rapids, and that is such a great story about how that whole organization is run. Absolutely fantastic.
I, too, am from Grand Rapids.
No, you're not.
What?
No,
You're from
I'm not.
Rochester.
You're from the mean streets of Brighton, as we just heard
Brighton.
before the break.
The illustrious suburbs.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the other thing, though. I know you said that they got to take one in Boston, but you know what? The other thing they need is they need their third and fourth lines to step up. And in all honesty, if Jimmy Howard doesn't play a spectacular series, they really probably don't have a shot to begin with. So he's going to need to play out of his mind, and some guys, they're going to need to step up. Like David Legwand, He's an interesting story. He was the first overall selection for the Nashville Predators in their entire organization's history. He gets traded to Detroit midway through the season. Now he has an opportunity to actually play in the Stanley Cup playoffs with a contending team, and he needs to step up. He needs to make something of this. So there's some guys that need to make some names for themselves, and if that happens, they actually have a shot.
Bruins are so successful every single year because they have such a solid core of players and such a good goaltender.
Yeah,
they have
do.
both those things.
Tuukka.
Yeah, Tuukka Rask is good. He should run away with the Vezina Trophy this year as the league's best goaltender. And if he plays really well in the playoffs, I don't think there's any reason that he shouldn't be considered for the Conn Smythe as the MVP of the playoffs too. So if he can do that, then Boston should be solid. I have the Bruins in 6 in this one, but like you said, if they do lose one at home, watch out. Things might get a little hectic.
I have the Bruins in 7.
Ooh, intriguing. All right, let's move on. Ethan C. writes, with the new playoff formatting, which first-round matchup in the East is the most intriguing?
I'm going to go with the Rangers and the Flyers. It doesn't really have anything to do with the new format, though. These two teams have a long history, and I am really excited for this series. I don't care if it's high scoring or low scoring. This is going to be a bloodbath. There is bad blood between these two teams, and they have some third and fourth line guys that are really grinders, and they might actually stir up the pot a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to that series in the Eastern Conference. I'm
extremely excited for the Lightning Canadiens series. I love watching the Canadiens in the playoffs. They always seem to do something crazy. Little shaky goaltending for the Lightning right now. Carey Price can keep them in every single game. I just think there's going to be a good chunk of scoring in this series. I think it's going to go back and forth a lot, and I think it could go 7.
With my casual, watching hockey and all, I know that Boston and Montreal have an epic rivalry in history.
Yes, they do.
And now that we have this new formatting, they could play in the second round.
Yes, they could.
Is that not going to happen? That has to happen.
It very well could happen. I mean, Montreal has a very good shot against Tampa Bay. Keep in mind, though, this series is going to be a very low-scoring, tight-checking game. Personally, I think that suits the Montreal style just a little bit better because they're a little deeper on all 4 lines. And like Zach said, they have Carey Price. Carey Price is a fantastic goalie. And Tampa Bay has a big question mark. Right now, they have Anders Lindback. He's starting right now. And if Ben Bishop comes back, they'll have a better shot.
That sounds like a craft beer. Anders Lindback?
Yep.
Are we drinking? I thought we said we weren't.
Well, all hockey players
Bishop was 7th with 2.33 goals against average, 7th in save percentage, and 4th in wins.
He really stole some games for them.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the Pacioretty, Desjardins, and Vanek line.
Yep.
Because they are a line that can put up a lot of points, but they can also give up a lot.
Yeah, they clicked at the end of the season. In 14 games that they played together, they had 18 goals, 23 assists between the 3 of them. They're a fantastic line. But like I said, they have some depth on there. They have some guys later on down on the roster there that could really make a difference.
And Montreal hasn't been playing that well, but they're 3rd ranked in the power kill.
Yep.
Penalty kill.
Penalty kill?
Power kill.
Sorry. In the
power
kill.
Must kill. All right.
Which is huge when it comes to the playoffs.
Let's get into this last question. This actually has to do with what you just said. Jacob L. writes, the NHL playoffs are always about hot goalies and peaking at the right time. Do any of these first-round matchups present upset potential because of any of that I just mentioned?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah.
Who has just had a history of issues.
Just crapping out in the playoffs.
I mean, issues in general, but particularly in the playoffs, he has gone completely stale before. And it's a total possibility that it happens again.
Yeah, it really has.
Has Columbus ever been in the playoffs since they've been the Blue Jackets?
This is their second time, yeah.
I'll say I don't remember seeing
the first
them
time was in, I think it was 2008, 2009. But Fleury, he really has a big problem in the playoffs. For some reason, he can never put it together, and it's really kind of frustrating if you play for the Penguins. If you're Sidney Crosby or Evgeny Malkin, you got to be looking back there like, dude, we're putting up 5 and 6 goals a game, and you're just doing nothing for us. So I don't know. I think that just because of the fact that the Penguins have such a high-octane offense, they have a really good shot of running away with the series, but we'll see. I mean, if
one of the biggest factors in this series is that goalie matchup, and Bobrovsky has been playing really well.
He has.
Uh-oh, there's that name again.
Bobo.
That might be my favorite. I think he just knocked Anders Lindback off my list. I forgot Bobo was involved in this. He's in the playoffs. That makes everything even better, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you can call it an upset, but I think the Flyers have a shot at upsetting the Rangers. That series is going to go the distance, in my opinion, 7 games. And if they can pull one off in Madison Square Garden, which they really haven't been too good at doing, if they can pull one off there, anything can happen.
Didn't the Rangers get a nice little upset in the first round of the playoffs last year against Washington, I believe? I think I watched a little bit of that.
Oh, geez, you're picking my brain. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that happened.
Oh.
I remember that was when I first moved here.
I've got the Rangers in 5.
You've got them in 5?
Yeah, I don't like Philly.
Okay.
Ooh, I like this kind of. Come on, tell me why, Zach. Tell me why you got him in 5.
I don't like Steve Mason. I think Emery could end up being in net.
I don't know about that. I mean, Steve Mason is a little shaky, but I don't know about Emery.
Steve Mason's 0-4 in the postseason. Hasn't been there since 2009. I just think Vigneault has these guys ready.
See, the thing of it is, though, is that the Flyers turned their season around completely. And I might go on a little bit of a rant here, so slow me down if I do. But the fact of the matter is that the Flyers were terrible to start the season, and it all turned around because of Ray Emery. And it did nothing to do with his goaltending. If you guys remember, he got into a huge brawl with Braden Holtby, and it completely changed the face of this franchise. And now I think they have some fight in them. And they're going against a team that they know very well in New York, and that's where I think that series could really drag out a little bit.
10 players on the Rangers with 14 or more goals this year.
All right, who do you got for an upset round 1? Give it to us, Nick. Come on. Come on.
Upset?
Yep, upset, round one.
Upset, fine. I'll go with the Canadians. It's not really that big of an upset, but I'll go with the Canadians.
I'll take the Canadians as well.
Okay. No, I don't like agreement.
But I almost picked the Red Wings.
All right, we're coming back, and we are breaking down value plays of the day for Wednesday. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at starfantasyleagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League show with Donald, Teddy Bear 2, and the Deucey Moose. Only on the team.
That is right. We are only found on the team. Only in Rochester. Right? Is that right, Zach?
We're on 105.5 in Rochester, FM 1310, 1590 AM. I love it.
5 days.
I absolutely love it.
5 days a week, we're available. You can find us on the interwebs somewhere. We're hiding in places, parts unknown.
I never dreamed that we would be on the radio in Rochester when we were younger. It's pretty cool.
Quit your dreaming or get bigger dreams because we're here.
Sometimes I ask myself how I managed to get here, and then I remember I'm awesome.
I was like, I could see the gears turn, and you had no answer to that, and you're like, what do I say? What do I do? Oh, I'm awesome. That's
My
fine.
voice is like velvet mixed with peanut butter.
At least it's not salmon that you wrapped up and
We'll talk about
something.
that later.
Yeah, that was weird. All right, I gotta move our mascot, Locke Larry, out of the way. That's right, we have a mascot. His name is Locke Larry. It's Passover. He's got to be in here.
I don't think I ever knew that's how you spell Laka.
Really?
Yeah.
L-A-T-K-E? You're a terrible
I
Jew.
thought it was an A.
You are a terrible, terrible non-Jew. All right, we got to get into the last day of fantasy for basketball. But first, we have MLB plays of the day. And Nick, you didn't give us any NHL actual plays, so we'll get to you after Zach gives us his Major League Baseball plays of the day for Wednesday on StarFantasyLeagues.com.
How about the guy that's nobody has been talking about at pitcher, who's been absolutely on fire for the San Diego Padres? Andrew Kashner, who's at 14,800. He has a 1.29 ERA and 3 starts on the season with 22 Ks. Last game versus Detroit, 9 innings pitched, a 1-hitter, 11 Ks, complete game shutout, and he has a 1.5 better ERA at home.
So he's getting no respect because he's in San Diego.
Correct.
It's Petco, baby. When you pitch in Petco, it's just one gigantic ballpark.
Yeah.
And nobody's there, so the ball doesn't carry that well. So that helps, right?
Because nobody's there, the ball won't fly?
Yeah. I don't know if that's physics, but I just made that up, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Just take him.
It's science.
All right, batter of the day.
Albert Pujols going up against Tommy Malone. Pujols is on fire right now. 10-game hit streak, 4 home runs and 8 RBIs in his last 6 games. He needs 4 more home runs to get 500 for his career, and he's 7 for 14 against Malone with no strikeouts.
Okay, so you're guaranteeing me at least a couple extra base hits.
Yeah, Malone's not a strikeout pitcher. He has 6 doubles against him.
And don't forget, outs on StarFantasyLeagues.com do not count against you unless they're strikeouts. So if he's not striking out, he's not going to lose.
I don't know if you've been
points.
watching Pujols. He looks like the Albert of old right now.
Ooh,
Really?
I like old
The machine.
Pujols.
He does.
Machine revived.
The cyborg.
I'm not a
Cyborg.
machine. I'm just Albert.
I love that's a great SportsCenter commercial.
It is.
All right, Nick. First day of the playoffs coming up. I believe we have 3 games on the first. Yeah, we do. We have 3 games. 2 from the East, 1 from the West.
Yep.
Who do you got for your top skater, your top goalie for Wednesday?
I'm not even going to go out on a limb in this one. I'm going to tell you Sidney Crosby's going to score tomorrow night. It's simple. I think that the Blue Jackets are overmatched. I know that Marc-Andre Fleury is not the goalie to rely on, but as far as a skater, top skater, I'm going Sidney Crosby. If you want to stack a line, stack his line with Lee Stempniak and Chris Kunitz. I think it's going to be all money.
All right, then who do you got for goalie? There's only 6 to choose from.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to go with Jonas Hiller just because I don't really like the high prices in the other games. So I think that the Ducks should be fine with the first game especially. So he's only 16,700. So I'm going to go with Hiller on that
You don't sound too confident, but it's a really short slate. It's
Yeah,
not
and
really...
the other thing, I'm just a little nervous about how high scoring that series may be. So we'll see what happens.
All righty. This is, like I said, it's Wednesday, NBA. It's Zach's favorite day, but it's the last NBA regular season Wednesday. And how many teams are playing, Zach?
15.
Or
15 games.
15 games.
All of the teams are playing.
15 games, 30 teams, and a bunch of games that actually do matter.
That
and
is
a partridge
true.
and a pear tree.
Thank you, Nick, for that.
I'm sorry. Wait, it's what is it? Passover or
A latke and
Latke?
In a layer.
and some oil.
and some oil?
Cooking.
Yes.
Yeah, and some sour cream.
Delicious.
Some applesauce. All right.
actually really good.
All right, let's get into NBA Wednesday. This is the last one.
Let me do a quick breakdown here. of what actually matters tomorrow.
Yeah, of course. I was going to say there's a couple games that I could honestly care less about, and I think the teams in them could care less.
The 3 through 7 teams in the East are up for grabs right now, the seeding. The Bulls and Bobcats both want to win. The Bulls are looking for the 3 seed. The Bobcats could get up to the 6th.
Yeah, which will avoid the 2 teams you do not want to play in round 1.
Washington can go as high as 5, so they need to win. And look for big minutes so that they can avoid the Heat.
Yeah, nobody wants to play the Heat. Who wants to play the Heat?
Not me.
I actually think Indiana getting the 1 helps the 4 and 5 teams.
And Toronto is in play as well for the 3 seed. Yeah, right now they have it.
Yep. They can get or keep the 3 seed.
And then if the Clippers end up winning tonight, then they will have a big game tomorrow. And then they're going to look for OKC to lose against Detroit, which I don't think is very likely.
Yeah, so there are some things to play for. There's also a bunch of games where there's some weird things that are going to happen.
I forgot the biggest one, in my opinion. Mavericks playing the Grizzlies, 8th seed, 7th seed, on ESPN. A lot of big stuff going on in that game, too.
Honestly, I think Memphis is looking to keep that 8th seed. We talked about it earlier. I think they match up well against San Antonio. I really do. It's a team that they can bruise, they can batter down low.
Didn't they upset the Thunder a couple years ago? Or was it last year?
Well,
it was last year, wasn't it?
But they also beat San Antonio 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So these are...
I don't think it matters, really.
No, I don't think it matters to them. They are just... They're a team that can beat anybody because they're so sound defensively. Mm-hmm. They have 2 bigs that can literally control their game and a completely competent point guard.
Could you imagine if they had a piece at the 3, like a competent guy that wasn't Rudy Gay? Like if they had a Rudy Gay, if they had a Rudy Gay-like player who played in a team aspect, unlike Rudy Gay who takes 28 shots a game,
like a Paul George.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's asking a little too much.
Yeah, I would if you could somehow trade for Kevin Durant, that would be a perfect fit.
Let's go realistic. How about a player like Paul?
LeBron would probably be good on this team.
How about a player like Paul Pierce?
Okay, all right, that's cool. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'll just shut up.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's basketball time, Nick. Get in the corner.
That's cool.
Go over there. No, Paul Pierce, somebody like that, somebody who's a veteran presence who can shoot the ball. Because they don't have a killer. At the end of a game, who are they giving the ball to? Conley can't shoot in the last couple minutes. Randolph needs to post up. Gasol can shoot, but from like 12 to 14 feet. He's not really a guy you want with the ball in his hands last minute. Rudy Gay was that guy, but he also missed 90% of those shots. So
it's going to be interesting. I'm actually really hoping that Brooklyn ends up playing the Heat.
Oh, man. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I don't think... I know that Chicago could be competitive. They could make it, 6 games or whatever.
They're just missing too many pieces.
Yeah, I don't think they have a chance to get it done. And I actually think... there's so much more scoring capabilities, veteran presence, all that on the Nets.
Yeah. All right, let's go through these games. There are 15 of them. There's a couple we don't like. First one we're going to look at is Chicago and Charlotte. This is going to be a knock-em-out, grind-out game. Both teams are looking to win this game for sure. I love Joakim Noah. Al Jefferson is one of the worst defensive big men who's actually competent. They claim he's competent defensively, but I haven't seen it. It might just be the other players on the team aren't.
No, they're ranked 20th, and Noah has been dominant as of late.
He could score 45 to 50
He's going to come out, and he's going to get a lot of minutes. This is a playoff game.
He's back under 20,000, which is really, really good value, I think.
Yeah, it's all about seeding right now for them, and I think they're going to give it their best. And he's the guy that you want to pick.
Some value tomorrow night that you might want to get in is Indiana and Orlando. Indiana's going to miss George, West, Stevenson, and Watson, which means the last time this happened, Nick decided to play the entire starting lineup. We talked about 2 guys, Turner and Scola. Also, Donald Sloan, maybe, but I don't think I'd trust Donald Sloan, to be honest.
Well, George Hill is going to be playing. Yeah. So is Roy Hibbert, but they've already said they may not play the entire game.
Yeah, so I think that's why I think Turner and Scola for combined 18,000.
I think Turner is a must-start, and Scola definitely worth a look. He'll take some minutes from Hibbert anyways when he's out. Mahimi honestly can't play that many minutes. So.
Yeah, that is true. He's not a really well-moving big man at all. All right,
Nick likes him, though.
No, I'm not talking, remember? This is the part where I shut up, right, John?
All right. Sure, why not? It doesn't matter. Atlanta and Milwaukee, I think there's some value there, too, regardless of the teams playing for basically nothing. Atlanta's locked into the 8th? They got the 8th seed, right?
Correct.
Milwaukee's the worst team in the world. Jeff Adrian's been playing really well as of late, and Ramon Sessions is playing out of his mind. Right?
Yeah, Ramon Sessions has been playing great. He's getting like 25, 26, 27 fantasy points every game.
Yep, at 10,000.
And he's still sitting at 10,500. Jeff Adrian really picked it up last game. I think he's another automatic play once again.
Yeah,
because he's a guy that wants the minutes right now. He wants to play hard. He wants to prove himself. And I think he will.
All right. There's a couple games that just don't mean anything. Houston at New Orleans. I mean, could you find anything there? Why would Houston be playing, really? I mean, they're pretty much locked into where they're at, too, aren't they?
I think they are, only because if Portland wins and they lose, I think they still have the edge in whatever. What is the initial tiebreaker?
I believe it's conference.
Head-to-head?
Well, it's head-to-head first, and I believe it's conference.
And I think they have the head-to-head, so I think they do have it locked up.
Okay, yeah. So then this game, I wouldn't be surprised to see a bunch of people sitting out. So I wouldn't even. This game kind of worries me. Although, if you need another one of those kind of value things, Anthony Morrow had a really bad game the other night, but still 6,500, and he played 30 minutes in that game. So I mean, that was just a blip on the radar. He's been scoring regularly 20 to 30 points.
Yeah, I'm just having a lot of trouble looking at some of these games just because I think New Orleans is the team that is going to end up being more interesting tomorrow night. I think it should still be a fast-paced game. So I think those are the guys that you really have to look at, unless, of course, Howard is out.
Then Ashik is the play. All right, another guy that was the backup center but is catching the world on fire is Gorgie Jang, the gorgeous one. Minnesota and Utah. Utah has absolutely no presence inside. They're 22nd against the center. Jang is another just must start, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw the game last night, but Minnesota went toe-to-toe with Golden State, and Golden State really wanted to win that game. So I would think that they're going to come out just as hard again. Kevin Love went absolutely crazy last night. He's played it very well against Utah. Jang is automatic.
Yeah, I think if we're talking about all these value plays, Love as the play of the night might not be the worst thing in the world if you can fit him in.
Kevin Love's a free agent this offseason, right?
No, he has an opt-out after next season.
Oh, he does? Okay.
It's an opt-out after next season, correct?
I think he's a free agent.
If he's a straight-up free agent, why would they not trade him this season? You know he's not re-signing with
it would
Minnesota.
probably be trading him towards like the middle of next season.
Yeah, but then your value. The problem with trading somebody when they're about to become a free agent is your value is zero. The team can go, we'll just sign him. We're not trading for him.
Well, he's the guy that you definitely want to work something out with.
Yeah, correct.
Sorry to trade it back to hockey, but that's exactly what I said about Ryan Miller. The Sabres got messed with that, so I totally agree with that.
That's why you trade him the season before they're going to be a free agent, because they can't say, well, I'm going to leave.
Think ahead.
Yep. All right, more games that don't matter. Lakers in San Antonio, Detroit and Oklahoma City. I mean, these games I don't see much mattering in these games.
Yeah, probably George Hill. He'll probably have Jordan Hill.
There you go. I was like,
he'll
right
probably
Hill.
have a good game. I can't see him not having one. I can't see Kamen playing.
I don't think San Antonio is going to do. Pop claims he's going to play all his guys together. I don't see that happening.
I don't think it matters,
whatsoever.
though, because we saw what happened when Tim Duncan played last game. He got no minutes.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, they're going to play together, but if they do, not much time. There's a lot of these games that just don't matter. Washington, Boston, is Rondo going to play? Does it even matter? Why would he be playing? Might be able to find some value there. Phil Pressey, Bayless is out. I don't really see anything strong. Gortat has absolutely owned this Boston team. That's the only thing I've seen.
I thought you said Washington had something to play for, though.
Well, they're playing Boston. Boston doesn't care. So this isn't. I mean, it's not going to be a game that they're going to absolutely need hard-nosed play.
I think they're gonna exert themselves. They want to seal this thing up.
That's what I'm saying. I think Boston doesn't care enough to it's not two teams that are struggling for anything.
Yeah, Boston doesn't care.
So
but
Washington
I think you definitely
easily
should look at everybody on Washington pretty much.
Okay.
I think Gortat could be a great play.
That's what. Gortat's he's been playing really well against this
I think Wall could be a great play depending on Rondo. I mean, they're a team that's going to want to win to avoid. I mean, a lot of things could happen, but if they lose and Charlotte wins, they're in trouble.
Yeah, that is true. All right, Clippers in Portland. I like all of the big names in this game. All of them. If we can afford to put some big names. Blake Griffin's had big games this season against Portland. Aldridge had big games against the Clippers. There's a lot of big games in play. Big names.
This is the marquee game late at night. And I'm guessing that I haven't looked at it. I'm guessing that the Oklahoma City-Detroit game is at 8 p.m. There's no way that it's not. So the Clippers won't know if they're going to win or not.
All right, who is your play of the day for Wednesday, the final Wednesday on StarFantasy.com?
Evan Turner.
Wow, Evan Turner. Mine is, I'm going with Blake Griffin. I've gone with Blake Griffin before. We got to do it. Coming out after the show, we are recapping our value plays, and we are wrapping the show up. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League show. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show.
Welcome back. We are not wrapped up on the Star Fantasy League show. We have to recap all of our great value plays for Wednesday on StarFantasyLeagues.com. They were all spread out throughout the show today. We had a big show on the schedule. So we're gonna break it down one by one, sport by sport. First, for Major League Baseball Wednesday, Andrew Kashner is your pitcher of the day. Albert Pujols, the man on fire, the cyborg, machine, whatever you want to call him, is the batter of the day. Best commercial ever, right? Best ESPN commercial?
It's up there.
Yeah, it's close.
I
got one better.
There was a Y2K one that...
I don't know. The one with the New Jersey Devil is pretty funny.
I know. Wasn't Martin Brodeur in the Y2K one, like, smashing something?
We're going to have to look at that.
I don't remember that one. There are a lot.
I know Mark
of good.
McGwire was in it smashing computers with a bat, so that was awesome.
Of course he was. All right, moving on. NHL plays of the day for the first day of the playoffs. Nick, how excited are you?
I am, giddy. I'm a little school kid.
Okay, we're not going to talk about that. Jonas Hiller is his goalie of the day, and Sid the Kid is his skater of the day. He actually advocates the entire line with Crosby, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and NBA, Zach went off a cliff. His play of the day is Evan Turner. I love Turner, too. I think he's a no-brainer. But actually, you know what? I'm changing my play today because I said it when we were going through. I said Love was my play of the day.
He's allowed to take that back. I don't know if he's allowed to take it back.
No, because remember...
He let me take mine back.
Hold on. But when I was going down the list, remember I said Love is my play of the day, and then when I got to it, I didn't have it written down.
You get one take back a season. That's it.
Yeah, good. It's the last day of the season.
So you're deciding between Kevin Love and Blake Griffin. That just sounds brutal.
Yeah, I'm going with Kevin Love. Okay. Kevin Love's averaging the most points against his team. I think it's in the 50s.
49?
49,
boy.
Yeah. Blake Griffin's at 46, I believe. Yeah, 46.75.
We are wrapped up like a Polish sausage that you get off the street corner, but you get two of them, so you want to save one, and you put it in your fridge with saran wrap.
Wow. All right, we're giving away a lot of value. We got lots of stuff going on for NBA Wednesday, MLB. We got a $50 free roll on Tuesday for baseball. Thursday, there's $50 free roll. There's everything going on.
We're tossing out cash.
Yeah, $5 free. Tweet us at SFL Show with your username if you just signed up. Nick, you're not eligible. Stop it. You don't get anything.
Stop trying. Stop emailing us.
Am I allowed to talk?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
Shut up.
Turn off your radio for one nice send back. This might be our last chance to say it. All right, and if you guys are drinking a nice Andres Lindbach, we'll help you make a letter lineup next time. Take it easy, guys.
Porch.